Hi everyone, welcome to the Lili tutorial. So Lili has been one of my most played characters since Tekken 6, so I can definitely share a lot of information with this character. Tekken 8 is probably the strongest version of Lili that we've ever seen, even after the nerfs. She had that big win at Evo Japan, so a lot of her eyes are on Lili. Lili excels with her sidestep and sidewalking, which is the best in the game, along with her strong vortex with feisty rapid mix-ups. She can make it very difficult for the opponents to attack her. She is able to escape certain situations that other characters have to hold because of her unique sidestep and sidewalk being so strong. As always, I have a written transcript to this guide in the pinned comments below, so please check that out.
Tu ne crois sûrement pas que tu peux me battre.
So let's talk about Lili's heat system. So Lili's heat is mainly centered around her feisty rapid mix-up. So outside of heat, this does a knockdown, and this is a heat engager, right? But when Lili has heat active, the feisty rapid low becomes a full knockdown, which gives her guaranteed critical for 3, which is a very chunky low. And though it's not too unsafe on block, it is only -13, so the risk reward is very much so in Lili's favor in most matchups. So you're gonna mix up the feisty rapid 3 between the 2, or between QCF2-1, or between the feisty rapid 4, which is pretty strong against the wall. This is Lili's vortex. This is her 50-50. You can access this by doing a wall combo, for example. So this is one way to set up the feisty rapid mix-up. Under tech roll, mid-screen, you could do something like something mid-screen combo. You can do it while standing 2, and then when the tech roll, feisty rapid on her mix-up. So this situation is very, very strong. If you see Chikurin play Lili at Evo Japan, you will see that he won a lot of rounds because of the feisty rapid mix-up. Now the vortex is a little bit weaker after the nerf because this used to flip over, guaranteeing her another feisty rapid mix-up, but since it knocks them away, Lili has to do a little bit more guesswork to keep the vortex going, but it is still there. Her QCF 1-4 becomes really strong with heat as it does crazy chip damage. So yeah, as you can see, it does very, very good chip damage. So these are also options that you can have as well. Lili's main way to exit heat is going to be her 3-1. Because it's a very long range with Punisher. So this is very, very good for what punishing with, and it's a very good way to exit heat. However, you need to be careful, as if the other character has a Sabaki or a parry, they can parry the second hit. So you have to be very careful about this in some matchups. Lili has 2 heat smashes. The normal one isn't very good because it's a very slow high. So it's a high and it's very slow as well. However, it does give her guaranteed Backturn mix, which I'll talk about more later on in the video. Her second heat smash is a low at a Backturn, and this is very strong in my opinion because it's not too unsafe on block. So if you do armor afterwards, the other character only gets a 13 frame guaranteed mid, and for some characters that's a very small punish. For example, like Asuka, she doesn't get very strong punish guaranteed on this move, so she has to make a read if she wants a better punish. The backturn heat smash becomes a lot better at the wall because it will wall break for a full combo, so it becomes so much stronger at the wall. So her backturn heat smash is definitely something worth using, but you can use the heat however you like. Maybe you want to spend it on a feisty rapid mix-up, maybe you want to use it on 3-1 as a whip punisher for a full combo, maybe you want to force a scarier backturn mix-up with the backturn heat smash. So you can use her heat in multiple ways. So now let's talk about some moves that you would use in neutral with Lili. So first of all, her jab. Everyone's jab is arguably their best move. You know, it's 10 frame. You have plus frames on block. Very good plus frames on hits. It's good for interrupting the opponent's pressure. It's good for starting your own offense. So everyone's jab is good. Lili's is no different. So definitely a very, very important tool to use. Lili's 1-2 is +8 on hits, which is very, very good. It's a bit standard for a 1-2, but her 1-2 has very, very good range. Lili has very good reach on her jab, and her 1-2 is no different as well. Her 1-2 has some extensions off it, so if you do 1-2-3, you have a low. If you do 1-2-4, you have a mid. So it's just something, it's just there to kind of keep the opponent on their toes, right? So the low on counter hit, it gives you some frame advantage on counter hit. Just be careful, as on normal hits it's actually minus, so it's just there to keep the opponent, you know, stopping from pressing buttons after her 1-2. So what you want to do with Lili a lot is her 1-1. 1-1 is new in this game and it's extremely strong. First of all, 1-1-3 is all guaranteed on counter hit. So if you want to interrupt your opponent's pressure, you can sneak in a 1-1, look for an animation being interrupted, and then you can counter confirm it. It's a little bit tricky, but with practice, with experience, you can definitely do it. And it's so important to Lili's gameplay. So if you think your opponent's gonna like overextend under pressure, you can sneak this in and interrupts them for good damage. 1-1 by itself leaves her in Backturn, and Lili has an immediate mind game after this. If you think that your opponent is going to press, you do Backturn 2. If you think they're going to respect you, you do Backturn down 2. I'll talk about her Backturn game in more detail later on in the video. So for now, just know that 1-1 is very strong. The last hit on counter hit is a launcher. So if you think your opponent's gonna try and disrespect you after 1-1, you can condition them by continuing an extension and getting the full combo off it. Now just be careful, as it is launch possible on block. If your opponent is patient, they can launch you, so be conscious of that. Now your main mid option with Lili is going to be down forward 1. Down forward 1 because it has a very good hitbox. It moves her forward, so the range is quite good. It's very plus on hits, +8, so it's quite plus. She doesn't have extensions off it, so you're going to have to utilize her sidestep game here. So for example, let's say the opponent mashes something after this, you utilize her sidestep afterwards to get around it and whip punish them. You know, you force the whiff with the sidestep and punish them. Remember, Lili has a very strong sidestep and a very strong side walk. So this is what you want to utilize it. If you think your opponent is going to use a move that tracks Lili's sidestep, or a homing move for example, you could do something like down forward 1 on block into 1-1-3. Now remember I talked about 1-1-3 being very important to learn with Lili. This is why. So if you think your opponent's going to try and do something slow after this to try and stop Lili from sidestepping, then you fish for 1-1 as a counter confirm. And when they're freezing up because of the sidestep, or they're freezing up because of the 1-1, then you can do stuff like down forward 1 into other buttons, down forward 1, down forward 1, down forward 1, down 3, down forward 1, 4-4-4. So you have a mind game here, and Lili's down forward 1 directly sets that up perfectly. Another move you're going to use with Lili is her down 4-4-4. Down 4-4-4 got massively buffed in this game. Down 4-4-4 because it's natural combo. First of all, it's 13 frame. It's very chunky. Look, 35 damage for a 13 frame string. This is incredibly strong. The range is very good as well. If you are on point, you can hit confirm this. Again, a little bit tricky, but you can hit confirm this if you're on point. It's a bit easier on counter hit because there's a different animation. So you can see on counter hit, Asuka kind of reels back a little bit. That's your cue to, you know, finish the string. So yeah, you would generally use this move for, first of all, it tracks to Lili's weak side. So if you think they're going to step in that direction, you can troll edge. If they whiff something small, you know, like a small whip punisher, you can use this as a quick whip punisher for something small because it's so chunky and fast and reliable. It's also a knee as well, so if you play against a character that likes to reversal a lot, i.e. Asuka for example, you can use down 4-4 to like beat the parry, beat the Sabaki, because knees beats reversals and Sabakis in this game. So that's another reason why down for 4 is very strong. You can finish the string on block sometimes if you want to be cheeky. If you think they're not going to look out first, or if you think they're going to press after down for 4, you can finish the string to catch them off guard sparingly, very sparingly. The second hit on counter hit is +8, so it's quite rewarding on counter hit. Otherwise it is -2, but on counter hit, the second hit by itself is +8. So if you think your opponent's going to press after this, sometimes you can finish it to be cheeky. But yeah, this move definitely very, very strong with Lili. 100% use it. Another move that you can use with Lili is her back one. Back one, because it's a mid, it has a follow-up with back 1-4. It's only -11 on block, so the risk reward on block is not too bad for Lili at all. It wall splats, so if you're near a wall, you can get a full combo with this. Now, the reason why you would do back 1-4, the second hit, is because you can do back 1 into hold forwards, and this goes into Lili's quarter circle forward. So she can do quarter circle forward 1, quarter circle forward 4, quarter circle forward 1, and then you can also do glide cancel out of it. So for example, back 1, do glide into other things. So back 1, down forward 1, back 1 into lows, back 1 into back 1, back 1, QCF2 +4, for example, to apply plus frames. So, and when the opponent wants to disrespect back 1 on block, because you're doing back 1 into other buttons, you know, your lows, your pressure. So when they want to interrupt back 1, that's when you can let the second hit rip. So this move can be quite strong in my opinion. And the wall splats from like really far as well. Back 1 on counter hit gives you guaranteed follow-ups. So you can do back 1 cancel into 2-4 as well if you're near the wall. You can also do it into 4-2-3 if you're on points, such as this. But I think back 1 is easier. Or you can do back 1 into QCF2-1, which is also nice. But yeah, her back 1 definitely good. Her standing 3, so her 3-1 is going to be her main whip punisher and a main way to enter heat system with this character. You also have 3-2, which is a mid into the high. So if you think your opponent is just too scared to duck into 3-1, you can sneak in 3-2 sometimes. And like back 1, 3-2 can be going into do glide, and then you can cancel out of it as well. So it's there as like a range mid, you know, has very good range. And it's 15 frames, so the startup is quite fast for the range also. So yeah, this is going to be your whip punisher, and this is going to be like your approach tool as well. Back 2-1 is another move that you can use with Lili. Back 2-1 because every hit is delayable. So back 2-1, 1+2. Every hit is delayable. The second hit can give you guaranteed Backturn 1-4, and it's very hit confirmable. The screen shakes, so that's when you know you can get it. I like this string a lot because, first of all, it's 13 frame, so it's pretty fast. The first 2 hits are natural combo, and you can do quite a few things with this. You can go into Backturn, you can go forward into do glide. If you think they will interrupt you, you can finish the string with the ender. So this move is pretty loaded in my opinion. You know, you can pressure with Backturn, you can pressure with do glide cancels, or you can just finish the string straight up. And remember, every hit is delayable. So if you think your opponent's going to press in between, you can force this as well. So yeah, I actually do like this string a lot. It's pretty loaded. For keep out moves that you want to use with Lili, one big one is her forward 4. Forward 4 is a 17 frame mid with huge range. The main purpose of this move is the counter properties. As you can see, she gets a very good counter launcher off it. So if you think your opponent is going to approach you in a bad way, or if you think they're gonna press buttons at the wrong time, you can use forward 4 as a counter tool. Lili's counter tools are a bit slow, but forward 4 is definitely very strong. And for example, if you do 1-2-1 hits, you can do forward 4 as a check. You know, they can't 1-2 into forward 4. They can't step, they can't duck, and they can't mash against it. So that's one sample flowchart you could do. So yeah, forward 4, definitely an amazing keep out to Lili. Similar to forward 4, we have Sidestep 4. Sidestep 4 got buffed in the last patch. That's also a counter launcher as well. So Sidestep 4 is good because It's -2 on block, which means that you can still force a mind game here. So if you think your opponent's gonna press something here, like something slow, you can do Backturn 1. So -2 on block into Backturn 1, which is 8 frame. So if you think your opponent's gonna go for something slow, you can use this to keep them in check. You can also do Power Crush as well. If you think they're gonna respect you, you can go for your Backturn game, which I'll explain more. Or you can just hold them back to create space again. So C.Viper, definitely a good like kind of keep out tool for Lili to use at neutral. So if you think your opponent's gonna approach you badly, or if they're gonna, you know, time their buttons wrong, you can use this as a rewarding counter tool. So let's talk about Lili's lows. Her main low poke is going to be her down 3. The range and the tracking is definitely why you want to use this move. Because, for example, it's hitting all the way from here. And the tracking is very, very good. So it's very difficult to step around this move. The only downside is it's +1 on hit. So you have to play a bit of mind game here. You know, if they mash afterwards, you can do 1-1-3 to frame trap them. If they step afterwards, you're gonna have to commit to your homie moves. But her down 3 is still very, very strong by itself. On counter hit, you get some extra plus frames, a +5. So yeah, this is gonna be Lili's like main low poke. Her other low poke is gonna be her down 1. Down 1 because, well, first of all, it has an extension with down 1 2. But down 1 by itself is a very good low poke. The thing with down 1 2 is it's natural combo. You can go to Backturn afterwards. You can stay in front if you like. It has an extension with down 1 2 4. If you wanna frame trap them afterwards, or if you want to catch them pressing buttons or ducking or doing an arm move, for example, this will beat them. Just be careful as it is unsafe. Down 1 is nice because you can make your opponents guess between so many things. Down 1 2, down 1 2, or down 1 2 back turn, down 1 2 into wherever you like. So you have a lot of options after this. The main usage of this is the high crushing. So she goes down and the high crushes. And also down 1 by itself is nice because they might look out for the extension. In which case they'll just freeze up for the down 1 2, right? So you can do down 1 by itself and kind of get away with it by itself because they're looking for the extension. Lili's main chunky pressure low is her 444. Also known as Root of Evil. 444 is nice because it's very chunky. First of all, 23 damage, it's pretty good. On counter hit, you get guaranteed Backturn 1-4. And of course you have an option, you can stay in front, or you can hold back to go into Backturn. If you go into Backturn, she gets way more frame advantage, +10. So a good flowchart is this into this. So if they duck or if they mash after this, this will hit them. So, and then you can do stuff like this into Backturn down 2. You can do this into this again. You can do this into your other mid pressure. So you have some options after this. This into Backturn 1+2 is a nice flowchart. So yeah, her 444 is gonna be like your main low, your main like pressure low. Good damage, good frames. Sets up Lili's other things pretty well. Another move you can use is FC down for 3. Now, use this low sparingly because it is very unsafe on block. It is pretty unsafe on block, but if you space slash from further out, you can make it a bit safer and you can make it more plus on hit. As you can see, it can be safer, right? So that's -14 there, is -18 here, so you can space slash. The main purpose of using this low is that it high crushes. So first of all, it high crushes. Second of all, it counter launches. So you can use this to approach the opponents. You can use this to high crush under. So I think it's an okay low. So let's talk about Lili's homie moves. So one of her main homie moves is 3+4. 3+4 is a heat engager, and it's one of her few moves that does chip damage and block. So if you think your opponent is gonna step at range, you can use this to keep them in track. Just be careful with 3+4 as it can be reactable from range. So if your opponent reacts and they can duck the second hit and launch you first. So be careful about using this from further away, but I think it's pretty good up close just for the chip damage and the homing property. Also the fact that it's also a heat engager as well. It's only -2 on block, so you can still utilize Lili's sidestep game to move around things, or you can use 1-1 to interrupt slower buttons. So 3+4 is definitely a good option. Ward 3 is another home move that you can use with Lili. It's a bit slow, but it is a mid. It's also on counter hit, you get guaranteed fall afterwards. It's a walls blocked as well, so this move becomes a lot better at the wall. So if you think your opponent's gonna like randomly duck at the wall, you can use this to walls block them. It's also only -3, so again, you can still utilize Lili's strong sidestep, sidewalk to move afterwards, or you can stop them from pressing slower moves with 1-1. So you get the idea with Lili's sidestep and her counter game. So yeah, 4-3, definitely a good move to use. It's also very strong for people who like to float chart sidestep into button. You can use 4-3 to shut that down. Another home move you can use with Lili is her QCF2-1. QCF2-1 is a heat engager. It's also homing. It's not too unsafe on block. It's only -13, so it's not too bad. In heat, this turns into a full launcher. So when you have heat active, it turns into a full launcher, which is a very, very nice perk of it. I like to use, so when you have heat active, using QCF2-1 can be good because you can parry the second hit. But with 3-1, you can parry the second hit, but with QCF2-1, you can't. So I feel like this is a good move to also exit out of heat with. And also, it's guaranteed after certain moves, such as QCF2-1, or 4-3 into QCF2-1. Back 1 on counter hit into QCF2-1. So yeah, that's the purpose of using this move. Backturn 3, again, I'll talk about her backturn game a bit more detailed, but Backturn 3 is another home move that she has accessible in Backturn. So let's say you do something like 4-4-4. You can use this afterwards as a little quick mid-check. It's not safe on block. It is -10, but I promise you, no one's going to punish this. And even if they do try to punish it, they have to worry about the follow-up between Backturn 3-4. Backturn 3-4 gives her guaranteed follow-up. So let's talk about Lili's other moves, which I feel like didn't really have a category. So her Damper 3 is going to be her main pressure tool. This is the cornerstone of Lili's plus frames. First of all, it's a counter launcher. So it's a counter launcher first of all. It's a mid. It's +3 on block. So afterwards, if you think your opponent is going to press, you can do Downfort 1 afterwards. And again, your Downfort 1 sets up the Downfort 1 mind game that we talked about earlier. You can also use Downfort 4 as well to check them. I believe they can't step this at all. So Downfort 3 on block into Downfort 4. I believe the opponents can't step it. And if they decide to mash or try and step, you can confirm this for a very, very chunky follow-up. When you have your opponents respecting you, Downfort 3, your opponent's respecting you here, then you can start to go for Lili's lows, right? So you can go for down 3, you can go for Root Evil. So when they respect you, you can start to utilize her other pressure tools. Another move that you can use with Lili is QCF 2+4. QCF 2+4 because it comes out of do glide. So cross go forward, it comes out of do glide, which means it can high crush under jobs. So you can use this to high crush under, and then you can do 3+4. This walls blocks for a full combo. It's also +6 on block. You have a lot of frames to work with. Similar to Downfort 3, you can use Downfort 3 to apply pressure on again. You can use lows if you think they're going to freeze up. You can use Downfort 1 to frame trap them. You can use Downfort 4 to frame trap them as well. You have some options. It's a very good pressure tool to apply plus frames. Demo +2 is a pretty standard mid power crush. You know, it's -13 on block. It does good damage. It walls blocks. So if you think your opponent's gonna overextend under pressure, you can use Demo +2 to be like, hey, you have to respect me, you know? So Demo +2 is useful for that purpose. This is probably Lili's most like notorious move. It's her Downfort 3+4. Downfort 3+4 is a very long range mid launcher. It low crushes, so it hops over lows. So if you think that your opponent is going to approach Lili badly, you can use this. If you think that they're going to go for a low poke, you can use this to low crush it. On block, you still have a mind game. So if your opponent doesn't have a 12 frame mid, you can use this to stop them from pressing buttons. So if you think they're going to press buttons, you can use this to stop them. And of course, it's a mid launcher, so you get full combo. You can also use it as a whip punisher, so if you're opponent with something pretty slow, you can use this as a whip punisher as well. But most of the time, really, you can just throw this move out to neutral and fish for a launcher. Another move you can use with Lili is her Denmark 3. Denmark 3, because the high crushes very quickly. On normal hits, it gives you guaranteed Koala afterwards. On counter hit, it gives you a full combo. So this move is strong because the high crushes very quickly. As you can see, a high crushes the job very clean, right? You can also use this after turn 1 on block. So if you think your opponent's going to retaliate with jobs or highs or whatever after this, you can use this to high crush them. So yeah, this is good as a high crushing tool read. Another move you want to use with Lili is her FP turn 1. I really love this move. First of all, it's safe, it high crushes, it wall splats. On counter hit, you get guaranteed follow-ups with Voila, and this move can actually go under some mids as well. How I use this move personally is just I duck and just do it, you know? For example, you can do down 1 into this as another flowchart. But yeah, this move is just very, very strong, very spammable in my opinion. You can also use this as a 14 frame punisher, so while sliding 1-2 does more damage, of course, but if you're near the wall, you want to use this as a punisher. Another move that you can use with Lili is her hop kick. It's a pretty standard hop kick. It tracks to her weak side, I believe. So if you think your opponent is going to go for a low, or if you think they're going to step to Lili's weak side, you can use hop kick to kind of keep them in check. It's a good anti-low read. Good anti-stepping to the weak side. To be honest, if you think your opponent is just gonna overextend under pressure, you can throw out the hot kick sometimes. Another move is, this is new in Tekken 8, it's Voila. So this move was extremely strong when the game first came out, because it used to be safe on block and it used to flip them over on the ground. So any follow-ups you got, like this, you used to flip them over for like way better Oki, way better momentum. So I think the nerf is fair, and it still is for max damage, like follow-ups. So for example, after this, or after this, or you know, she gets it guaranteed after many follow-ups, or even after this, for example. So she gets it guaranteed in many situations for like a lot of damage. It is also her main wall ender, so Voila here, while sliding 1-2 into Voila. So it's her main tornado, it's her main combo filler, it's her main wall ender, and also if you have feisty low, Voila is also your guaranteed follow-up. Another move you want to use with Lili, like her panic tool, is Matterhorn. This move does like piss off a lot of people because it high crushes pretty quickly. It can go under some mids. Now you have to be careful because it is very unsafe on block. So if you use this as a panic tool, you have to be very confident that it's going to connect, right? So it gives a very damaging combo. So that could be one combo example, but yeah. A lot of Lilis like to do something low minus on block, so maybe like down 4 on block into slice that Matterhorn. It's the most classic Lili flowchart since like Tekken 6 days, you know? Matterhorn is quite good for that. Use it as a hard read. It's a very hard read panic tool to go under highs. So you heard me talk about Lili's Backturn game quite a few times in this video so far. Her Backturn game got massively buffed in this version of Tekken, and it's very important to understand your options on how to utilize it. She has many ways to enter Backturn, but these are the most common ones. So for example, back 1-1, Root of Evil into holdback, back 2-1 into holdback, then 1-2 into holdback, and then 4-2+4 are some very common ways to enter Backturn. What you want to do in Backturn, so let's go over a couple of things. Backturn 1 is her 8-frame jab out of Backturn. So this is good because it's her fastest move out of Backturn. So if you think your opponent is going to do something slow to interrupt Lili's Backturn game, So let's say, for example, like sidestep or on block, it's -2. You do 8-frame move afterwards. Not every character has an 8-frame move. If you think your opponent's going to go for something slow, you can use this to interrupt them afterwards. So Backturn 1 is good in that sense. She has a mid out of Backturn 1, and she has a high out of Backturn 1, which is her heat engager. I remember she gets Backturn 1-4 guaranteed in some situations. So Root of Evil is guaranteed into this. Back to 1 on counter hit is guaranteed into this. So that's where you would want to use Backturn 1. Another move you want to use, and it's going to be a quite important move, is her Backturn 2. Backturn 2 is there to discourage the opponent from challenging Lili's Backturn game, because it's armored and it's also a mid. So if you think your opponent's going to disrespect Lili's Backturn game, for example after this, you can use Backturn 2 to stop them. Remember, when Lili has heat and they block the heat smash, you can use Backturn 2 to make them do a worse punish. Obviously they can read it and low crush it. Generally it's there to discourage people from mashing, to make them respect their Backturn game. Lili's main low at a Backturn is going to be her Backturn Den 2. Backturn Den 2 because it's +5 on hits. On counter hit, she gets guaranteed follow-ups. A good flowchart after Backturn Den 2 is FC Denford 1. So if they mash after this, you can use this to counter hit them, and it gets a flip over as well. This is going to be Lili's main low, so you can do stuff like this into this, this into this, this into this, and when they want to challenge you, then you can sneak in Backturn 2. Lili's main homie mids out of this is Backturn 3. The good thing about Backturn 3 is that it high crushes, so if you think they're going to go for a jab, you can high crush under with Backturn 3, and the follow-up is quite chunky as well. Backturn 3 is unsafe by itself, so if you think they're going to punish that move by itself, you can continue the extension to interrupt their punish, right? But from my experience, no one tries to punish back 3 by itself anyway, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. But if they are, then you can continue the extension to interrupt them. She also has Backturn Den 3. In my opinion, I wouldn't use this low, because why would you use this when you have Backturn Den 2? So in my opinion, I wouldn't use this. It can be okay in certain Oki situations, because on counter hit, you get the follow-up guaranteed. So it can be okay in certain Oki situations with key charge, but other than that, I don't think it's very useful. You might as well just use this. Backturn 4, I would ignore, because I would keep this to only combos. It's not very useful in neutral, so only keep it to combos. Backturn Den 4 is another low you could use, but in my opinion, I would just do Backturn Den 2. Like, there's no purpose of using this low when this assists, right? The only reason I would use this because it's a little bit faster, but again, just use this most of the time. Backturn 1+2 is Lili's main mid launcher at a Backturn. So remember I showed you 4/4 on hits, +10, you can frame trap with Backturn 1+2 afterwards. So if you think your opponent is going to duck against Lili's Backturn pressure, you can use this to stop them from ducking. It's only -11 on block as well, so it's not too unsafe. This move is quite good in my opinion to discourage the opponents from ducking Lili's Backturn game. Lili has a Snake Edge with Backturn Den 3+4. So a common follow-up is Backturn Den 3-4. But what's actually better is if you hold chords, you can do Poil afterwards. So in my opinion, this is like barely reactable. I don't think most people can see this. So if you want like a high risk, high reward low, you can go for this, because the damage is quite good. And if you're a certain distance from the wall, you can get combo as well. So yeah, obviously it's launch punchable, so you know, be careful with it. It is very unsafe, but depends what kind of player you are. Risk rewards, maybe you can use it wisely. So that summarizes the Lili tutorial. As usual, I hope the guide helps you on how to play this girl. As always, please leave a like, comment and subscribe to the channel if this guide helped you, and I will be releasing more tutorials for the other girls in the future, so stay tuned for that, and thank you very much.